ebusiafo me mama jo eba dwumadie no so aye fe no nokware no nie na me ama gima adwa enanwumre ye fe me IMMA-ADIZA Waslina Adiza Samu eni midin ento aso na meda obi bia sese waje bre se enne so obaade edi adom ye obeka ye ho na ya hwe nokware no nie na nokware no nie dwumadie yi eye mi amadi mi dwa Nyankopon ya adom a ye o guest a obeba na se de eye no daa no me de ntete ho no ene enchia sononko ebekọ ama adofo enyina nokware no ne dwumadie se de munim ne daa no nsia agba apemu die na obefre unyia no waka che unyia so se eye IMMA-ADIZA ginedwa efisa hade nokre no ane ye ka aha asem no nye nokre a memmoso me kan se de tie na fata without fear or favor said ye ya na abrofo ekanu na mechia adofo a da ne da omobo machidom omo nka ho a mesome nka ho eye Uncle Benjamin Pabiti Nana Hima Alhaji Sabatu eye Alhaji Sule Dauda eye Asori Daniel eye Sumaila Abdullah Audu Isaka Dr. Jerome Hajia Sadiq Mama Lu Esai Honorable Amokamel Evangelist Richard Pra PC4 in Shayeso Anna Hawa Ali Tafo Pankrono Women's Organizer or Pese Yesan Tumano Montumano no Weduma Anna Mama Tundra currently on a Ashanti Regional Women's Organizer or pair Regional Women's Organizer and Yankopon kan ho no win na body no tibi de ye adwuma Anna Honorable Joseph Yami baby a obi a me chia papa na the field marshal himself our Ashanti region ekuro we mu ye frɛ no Honorable Alhaji Isham on any deputy Anna Malam Osman oye youth organizer Anna communication officer Abbas Nuruddin Anna Mebra Kwame Tewia on the summer singing Anna Ma Becky Stone our women's organizer wa Ireland UK chapter Anna organizer Nana Efriye yawe free mechiao Anna Mr. Esen Kwesi Joseph oye me flyer me da me bra we ase papa ene nia oye mami dane abreno nyina na entete ho no enne ba bia me di be free ene say na omwa JM time nyina omoji omo title ni nyina title na agu munimu ana John Mahama ayese abe a esi ho chese bibia wa abe ni hu nyina no bibia eso wo mfaso eye John Mahama Ghana fo na ho sesei edie na eko sese lore fe ho asem se na akosi sei Abosi okan omu na yetimi edi omudin ehye ye kan se budget mu ni yaka se ese ede abosi okan for budget how be market now market net to say nyame oni mo adi na nyonyo ayed the buta matoto de matoto spare pass ni mu na de osisuo na oye modan oye muchocho ankasa Me program o me your life inti no ena aposi okan sa abosi okan o sa aposi okan mudi no ena how be how far niam ekosan mamu duty ni atete so ana sa yamiam we dey samu amudiem mo kama no ntum ayese panyini a one nkola ofie a waye infantile mu ye beka na kawano powder heat no mo fili ana mo enjoy mo ne yetimi ye budget yes abosi okan budget na mo bom nsem we no mo abwaje si ye anim guase na aka mo sei ela mo num nso ana amadidi mo hu se niema nkoyi agiegu kra ye abosi okan mo nka fra yedie mu na enie na ne he John Mahama de mu fa ne fuo ene wa hu obi okasati a John Mahama bia nya na afamu de maako kama de hwehwehwam nyankopon pa na ahira obi sei jem nyankopon ahira papa jem de nyame ahira no we shira no nko a first no na minim se sankrofo no Michael Jackson pe any JJ Rollins me two icons no me ka say yo nko a o hwe sa na joma amate baabi sa no ka ho mi kra minimo nanu ya na mi hu ye jem onyankopon son wo he na mi nkoka ho ni enkwada na se na wadi nkunim abroso better managers of the economy mponi na mato nso ma amowo mo nan Yehowa montimi afa koto anye nkwan ye nim si ye be pass e-level said ye nanam nko mbeka no emanka kwaku ado kwaku empty head kwaku okro something nanka wajai plane fawo wanya yo afe kra na oye ne mo na mesi Ghana obi a waji din wodoma ama pensu bia na enne market sen obi ti say ejumawura pa kwasi indu na wo chain of banks etwa Ghana ho ahia we are joma ama time atamios JM time no there no what banks chain of banks epaye pa kwasi indum okoka so abi wo oba atonsu bi wo bebia na etu etise ene market tise from adwumawura to susurura nyame we twia oka heavy na ka say yeden yesi wo bia na onye wo bone na onkan wa obetimi aka no akọ scot free obi son eniwo adie kitano se woye ne bone a no wato abo ne guardian angel beto animguase ama ebi ne John Mahama te se abe wode wo free abe ne soro ekoka ne fom a ye obi anya mfaso omo no mo study twabi eno ne nsafufu ye abekro no akokono epra de akokono ba afi so praya ye de praya dem wo Africa ha efri abem abekro no eye ngo eye nkwan eye semina eye engo kokko esan ye engo efita eye anwa eye bibia na wodi bibia to nchen ya wie no a na chi ayi no ye kan se wabo abene de ehyem no wuyi de ya adwongo ni wia sa adwongo no adweno ehono no eno kra enkrofo de fele atachem ne sa ba bia erosion take place erosion also ye stubborn pa monfa sa yi no ehono no enkoguo obetu na se iti sa na JMI ana hwan biom vim lady how far efio pokuya ena market ti sen wo se wo kwa hen udwane akwa America madam ye ntenam ena mu amu ji wo JM na muka JM asɛm a na munya brown envelope ni nyina na ene white one no ma biem se white envelope de ya na mu enso eno agyan ba na oh madam na JM time oka cocaine ye kind of station ho che you multi media oh na so ka ho che media nyam nam ka say cocaine o Canada Japan kai mo pe bia wono an ka mo fama asem kono so obia fa na asem ma me so vim lady uso wo ye den now crowd electoral commissioner na say wo ye presiding officer ana say wo ye omo tete we ni bi uro out play anything into uncover election 2020 wa unim se ebeye bloody na bloody ne suuti onsa onan ohwene ebeka inti na wudwane enu ti na wudwane madam mi antina kromo ya na nyina ye enjoy wasi ye enjoy na fairly and Captain Cement market saying mesu obi oji din yimre su nyina eno omu nyina omudi no ye hwe omo ye hu omo UT Bank ono krade papa wo de na anhye da anya yi nti wo de sorry na kwabnado for how far market ti saying o wi ofon sa no ahwe wo de ade so obeye nwuna ayenwu obeye hye ayehye wo ye NDC ni am ye hu sa wo ye NDC ni me Miami card o se me be hye etiefo obo se me ye me card ne nye ready but process bi am afam aka se beba eba ya me se ahaya me de be kire etiefo because me se am ye inti na program ni din ede no kwaro ni nie aha ye nyaye no wa ha ye ntwantro a wo twantro a entro na be yi waboho intimini adaje ana de mintimi spelling mafapen se me kotro Captain Cement na ho ti say eja woso a cement ebo a National Cathedral and how is the market ukoba e ti say eno maja otata jo mahama time mano den o hotel Dubai o Lodina ho ahwani bank omo na ye wo hunyankopo atwia mka me see akatwia no emu de eti say ensafufo me maka bia hweda intiminim ba ku bi o ye fa ne duka de papa manu bida I'm not lying because me ma me akani intino de ye fa bia me manyini wo minyini kakra ozongo but a greater part of my life and I spend with my mom me ma me come at this na sa ye kan se lunatic bi na bodam for mad dog bi na wate asi dwom matadisi bishop ayenso ase enya ne den wa bodam sa wo see wonya bishop na so be politician obi abebo obi ayesa osona watofom aboa bia timi boni bi pa iti wanya atofom wo so your politician we will treat you as such iti mese wo your mad dog uton rem no wa ba fie monkwache na mo ne pane na mo fansu ongu no so na mo catchre ntuna pampam ti se de wachi aponchi a oye stubborn also market ti saying utiri so uka samata dis no dia di ode ba ye no kra wa wuko na wo oso be ye a kire no ye de medede aka agya wo mo a on be bo osedue me maposa dada mapro agu na manase azuri wo so ho te sei why wani mu se ye kan say traditional Yoruba pure Yoruba birthmark eno ye twitwa animu ni nyina eti say o tribe ne pepepe nyankopon onye ntwia oka mese abehom faso sa na JM tie JM te sa be ntu kana obenya sa faso ni nyina me mamu ade baako meka Michael Jackson o wuye no 2009 na maami bi ye friend Oprah Winfrey obia ni mo no wonim de anam so a Oprah de ye popular Michael Jackson 90 minutes interview no 1992 ana Oprah anomaba ensamanfo eti epumun enipa enyina eti Oprah Winfrey nka Daniel Appel me da se ana omoti Oprah Winfrey nka Michael edru baby na Oprah start ya ase o jeje nkrofo so na o de hwe ase no ho yesi obi a obeso won sa na wo kasa wo tia nanim akwa yeyi a wawie ye no eno na dwene ho ana Oprah yire no ho ana saa mu am entertainment anya eno ne yebe nti me bo ne tofa Oprah kodi saa akwala onunya obi a Michael Jackson edin ene ne ye epeja akwala yi epeja ne maame ne papa from Australia ba ye kan say America be boa wo ma onye anyam enne wo wuyi a na ewu ni wu akiri me ka say Michael ni jeja ene ne say jeje nko a ana wo Ghana ha say ya na tamfo ne na dofo nyina pu ekwahwe no at the same time Michael did the whole world because all kind of negative story ye better positive ye better obi a onim much about Michael Jackson and entertainment bia you know won ti ase so akogugu ne kogugu Michael Jackson life negative ye kind of send a positive impact ebe yi ya bana easily ubenya bia kan wate de make na say na minim se JM kan wo sa JM obro so na nyankopon agu ekufu ado anim ase ama onwie yo. This is just the beginning. Broni Beka said this is the tip of the iceberg. Onwie ye kura enim ase Elevi awoka yenim se ebesa yarewa nyina wa watena trotro mu da ba se etu kwan obi ate se ya na nkrofo bi tonton eduro wo mu a ye frɛ wo mu ebibiduro efo doctor wa hu bi da bia no me sei omotena ka animu a eduro baako eti se Elevi esa yemoka kaka ene ye kan sen bibia funumuka kaka ene bibia asako de se we ye kan se koko tipaye bibia chese eduro no nwanwaso no adie bia wo se obia wo ewiase intino sa adie we no ana na ewo hono a wo ye nanam pensuti Elevi uko agric minister ba o se be solve problem energy bobodi no sa 120 something ministers nyina no na ekufu ade so omo ye nyansafo no omo antimi a solve problem no say bottom to bottom ana ebe solve na Elevi ba ye de na eko nyankopon so obetua aka na obegu ani masea obegu ani masea ene ayi Michael Adangba abonyum bi de papa mumpa bi na munkotia na wo de mun inbox me de ebe emam obi bia na obi atie bi enwum na ehwan me de after the show kra me beba abeto Waslina TV na adofo enya bi ahwe enwum na de pa eka ne ma nyina na Nebukadnezar wose won de ono ane woga enumuguase aneto no etu ni wieye ana ye ne den egu nanim asenu ane kwakwa do mo so ya adode en gagai adode gagai de oye gagai ba onye preman mu amuti preman ase ne enye preman afo no mo bo ahyawo na enye no bi na meka eye sika ye ka se enye sikani ni nyonko ni preman ni a nanado enye ne nyonko ne John Mahama nyansam nimdiemu enimonyam ni nyina no nya ado preman ado gagai onka ho oye ado total empty na John Mahama timi de bosia kitua bi ye kejetia kraba market hotel ye kan say blocks any other niema enye ho asem ne ye beka Ghana for mo amunim otimi stabilize ye economy no ema wo ho to ma me ho to me na anyansafo ma asa wo mokra na agimie sa ye kan say wiase nyina wo mo nyina ko school of stupidity no mo graduate with PhD in imbecility abai he di omo beye bia anfa kwam Omunkwa na ti ase nti oma ye sa zombie wa winim zombie no onsi yesu anane ye wo movie bi a aye se ye kan say horror movie bi obi ka obi ana ode bibibi ase virus bi ama no itu omunyina omumuvu ko one direction aha na ba kofa ha omunyina abedi ache sana MPP ni omu leaders ni omu followers aye omunyina senkia ko gates ni ena udu kumasi dwom a ene atonsu dwom ene tafu dwom ene dwom a obiansa ye sei obiansa ye kolo obia de nsasum na no adan a ye ntade na niam na na mo se etesei yedie na enie Julie market say madam for aye friend Julie owo kumasi kejetia animu ho old building masalachi na chiri ho na ho na owo Julie omunyina nimme omo saso owo nyina obi enimme MAHAMA-ADIZA because me true baby ana me bisa am say na etesei Julie na wote ha na ne ye kejetia wo yesi ebe ma mo bi ya ama mo ye move omo wa patam e de omo akọ Dubai Emma woda so si awie mu o se ayese ye de wa anam se ei sister na da be no wani betie wa adwene no emu ayesum saa ye wani nte adwene no muso ani nte na afa omo wo nyina ehwe me am sister wote ha esi ye bewie Central Market ayi bia ma wa fa onsa guti eye 419 esaka wa ye mamo mo betena awia we mu a kopim se Yesu beba nwan na kan ye be mam Central Market na se Central Market e owura ana munim se stores no ya cha awie na o se ye mame koja akwan na me niema ni mu odu manfa pa opa ana me de yire no na odu koja me na mkofa aka amen menya me ho fa so baako na na adu adaroma wa ma o ma ni mu aye de Escafo nyina first no me sika me wo metimi ahwa wo ni wabusuafo nyina ene sa national anthem na atonso mo ye nyina aye to milk 7 cedi ba ko ye nyina aye to 7 cedis ye nyina aye to ne 7 cedis so sikanini wo ehiani ni wo sikanini beto no double meso metono single minya me 7 cedi minya me 7 cedi na makoto me de na manum e de ba no metimi achembe ye first no na miswa no ye fra bibi se milk no samunim de we ane ye no munim me be kire mo hwe me nana oche yo nti minim ne amatu ba me akra manyini se me nheda anye eyisa nti no me nana emoye no na me hwe nti minim ne ama bebre wa ho milk no ugbo anu abotokro baako do atene hono na ade achi a se me no me dia 5 days a sikani ne kra so obu ni dia kakra bi wonim dia skafo no ontimi nto milk no on kan cross ye twa me milk obua ye twa milk uso ntimi nto ye nyina ye pe ye bubu no tot we die obua ntimi nto e kan no na akoto curtains begu dem ne hafa ntimi biom na ade ye gagan no ntimi biom madam for pa so ana ye fe no Gladys Boatin a wati kochi JM the late Professor Mills time ne akachia delay just 2 days the other year no my friend anu na di kan nanado de na ekoyi onu kra de ni kunu ne nanado de free yi baako intimi ya me se ni kunu no so de Mr. Forjo eja esi aja na dabe na wani mu ha no wo beye joma ma ne NDC peso de na utimi eko free kwaje bosia na wokọ ene ma me nka nkira mu bosia no aye tare obi odi ni sika etu treasure bill obi an ko checking hwe aye pim so market no egu ne kra makoyi misika because wo de beto onom na hwan na ekoje enfa nko ye bosia na enfa so no ne hwan na eche hwan marketing ye we ana hwan na meye joma ma time MPP for ni asante for ano ya ana ye diem se ye diem die na ko se na mato su joma na pa wa chaw me pa chaw wo ba metso so me ya okama me da fo ani oduru ha na ye fro broni omo boa o ano de opese obeto bi ma no me siebo enhye mi hu me die miniska me dem ko feska wan ya bata de me bisa ne bo na mama fucking price wa na wonye isi aja so man mu ayede adupre mai wode ni pre mai na duru ha osika ne kabiem kuma asefo omano omutiri mu omusugu hosa ma fucking price ne ma fucking price you lose una abe lose o me check wana aden minya me wan cedi ade me pena me nkoko bubu anwa aye 1.5 na miniska me de bekota me ne hwan na pre challenge mi ko bukota na say half minya me 10 cedis ba kota me kota ne half me hwie ne kakra e na odu askafo fia omutimi ntwan wan nti no omo de ye fene say stranger tune ana omutwidi say no omo de chikosia obi ntimi nta ye kwado ye da nyankopon ase wasi wa yusu ayi ado okro di e de triga na foaso o de chi o maso pa enne ye kan say electricity ye betum da kra ye timito ye ntiminto obi oso usini ama no ntiminto afedie de wo de wo ba ya de ane kun inflation yesen ye erade obi na ne tu atwi sei ye ko bi ka se kufu ado tu betwi sei anke ebe me wanwa pa o kebe me wanwa manase azuri eti sei Mr. Ford and eti se market seken uko South Africa no waba ana usanko masa mesi ekufu ado de onu o etietia yenya ye etia no so ye okuku o enche ne yebu afu wo ya na mungamu abasisi a munya mahama ana no no de owa ana na koma ne wa we ne koko ben ha it we ya o obechire mu one by one nana ekufu ado koso ne koso miemia omo ya chichi NDC fo nyina awie aka MPP fo no mo ne ye be ya mo ho adwuma o ma hene ene ho nkran me say what to say what can do mahama de a wo be hyeda aye bone oni akufu ad be hyeda anya asem we ye fene whether you like it or not enya wo pe o enya wo pe aye say duro achwa na say electricity achechire wo no on say force asa wa adwene ne nya adwuma no na force ubi ma wo kane ma bia enhye dan fakem ene na wo eyi a wutimi start wo eyi obojo na wo dia comedina na wasan akofa ye kan say aboba na on say na wo tetefa so saa na tetefa so uwia na akowia wo American ye kan say house eho so ahun nti wiase na ye wo no se obi wo ho na onye obone a me force ne nya bone na omo wo akatweafo omo guardian angel no angels no ekwan omo de be faso no ore kra be ho se ye wo wa ba wiase nti no me attempt o me say na minim se jo ma amaka ho o me si opra de ya ma anwie me san de aba kakra bi sima opra de ya ma anwie ana opra ko che san krofo no omugu Michael Jackson hu fi no ode omo bae anche opra dan fofo anadan fo pa ye friend no eyi mere afini di kura ho hia na lady bi ye friend Lopita ababa wa so ye Tanzania no so me hu ofepa enye Naomi Campbell mo ne sa top way no omu nyina de papaya nim guase bai Oprah and the spiritual father sa wono kra de oye awenye ono so anim guase Anna Michael Jackson so no Oprah Winfrey show egui obi apa nko gugu no nsetenwe obi wa wawuo ni empo no ne saman anase guardian angel no mda so ye adwuma ma no sa pepepe ne mahama itino ya kan say oma pain na da baby a wo bia nyankopon onkosoa na wa hira odada enye me na meka Ghana fo ehun itimo dia mo ntonkoso pa apesi indomi oyire ne ho ayire ne ho a wogu joma ama ani mase na okasa oye me ya kan say ba fine sabio onim se oye nini onim se oye ne ho yentrum ni ka ho na obibi yentrumika ehwo na abehu so de wafu na be eya na asa wo de kon besi fom na ade anante itino abusiafo ya kan say guest no obaaye me try say me di ni wram na decline 1 or 2 reason bia minim but obeba itino so ba na me de no aka ho na ya guest no wo epono na chi a oba intino se me guest temen kan a decline ne ye intino ti se san hye ase foforo intino ono na me send the message no to say ono na me send the message no ono na me send the message no intino o temen kan me pa cho request ni mi hu me so mo pe ana decline intino me pa cho san eye ne foforo na me so me try intino mama no audio said ye de bia me ye no ye nyina na ye bon komo ye nyina na ye fa kwasi ndomi ohu anungwase papa from adumawura chain of banks to susura ye de free next time ubebo akokora mu na hu jema ne hu ya ayefa nwumbi ye fa no ebubro kosua ade ebeye ye nsaida eno ne je omahama se wotu ni tu a wo se wakrabo intini papa J nyankopon fa okra ensie ye MJ sleep on na nyankopon de ne wotie bia no wo de fa wa oni amatiko akwan mu nyame na bedi wa asama ma wo yesi se ohunu wa asam ka nyame onka bi na ohu on top of one nyankopon ku bi ma inti nyankopon anko JM on top man no onye ye aka 2 years we all day inside efia bogia wo wo mo se okunu wo ho de enso wo ye bedi wudru airport ani asa wachim ewraba ye nu nyina na etna ekuro wem wuni ba bia akọ ye nyina yetim Captain Cemento your friend is say apoto you amu Mr. Fordman you can say I confirm we all day wo South Africa kwa next time ye ma wo visa ye nyina yetim na me de men ka se yenku ba ye nwo pa ne ensanfa omra ye nwo ye ensanfa next time ukotu se wo bi di dom jamani mahama onka ne ho asembone won twa ne ho ntro enfa nkoje animunyam inti nyankopon watwiamka you obeka sa nyame ntwiamka bi obwa from Akufuado to the last person our MPP nyame atwiam nyina aka asante mem ye twia ye ka o monko development koso wo ochi mem ochi akonya no ene ne kakraka nyina ti se wo de asante man ka ho a be na yetimi mo tu otimi tutu ne nempo ochi ma krom ye so ebianu no wan hwe ya wo de won sabankum bedidi wan hwe ya wo bedura hifie na de won sabankum didi because the obeye bia asem fakwen inti no me bra ba de mema na kwa aba sonko eba dwumadie so NOKWARE no nie inti me bra Godwin Mahama Mirafio woni jam the same surname wow ani asa okra uye nshira uye nshira ai uye nshira pa because Mahama de e was some propose to say enkrofo start esuro ne ba inti ne me bra mema wakwa aba NOKWARE no nie edumadi a eye de owo so ne ye impunimpu abroni beka se 1-on-1
Mejo sumini aba I hope so temenka
Nyankopon do meton kapa ampa cho so temenka de
yeah me too loud and clear
ye da Nyankopon ase ene na mema wakwa aba na wayi hu adi adan hu adi e de akire metiefo na mafa akonya we suso e de afọwede yino edi ama adofo so ahwe na ugusu a o ka baabi a wo fi ne de wo ye obi animu edi ne de wo obi dada inti na obi nimu ye inti wa na abeka se man ka se ye fra me IMMA-ADIZA unhu me din inti no obayi wo hu edi akire metiefo ama omahu ni papan a oye
mini aba ma me fa wakwenya we so na me nda wase ene akwenya wode amame se me ne NDC fo ene Ghana fo ni na enkasa yes NOKWARE ehu behia se wango mutie me etimi hu ni pa me ye bibi a me wo ene adwuma so a me ye den medi se dia wode kan ye frame GODWIN MAHAMA Ayaba but oftenly stage name I don't include the Ayaba. Let me just so short. No, my name is GODWIN MAHAMA. I'm a member of the NDC, specifically in a constituency within the Greater Accra region. I a friend of Domiabra Ubom constituency. Mene Amasamai a share border. The constituency and a Kaswa a share border. The constituency and a Ensawim a share border. The constituency and a Trouble constituency a share border. The constituency any adaisu a share border a sang any part of Swedru specifically Hanatete former MP for that particular constituency one of the Utu constituencies so a share border and share these constituencies in fin and I've been in for a very long period of time now. The last constituency elections a year before the Ayababayana Senyano me contested as the youth organizer in the constituency. Just unfortunately, procedurally, any maybe so I passed and gone into member so, but at the end, me endi enkunim. Basically, that is me. I am a part of NDC's national communication team, and I'm a part of NDC's Greater Accra regional communication team. Under the leadership of my able National Communication Officer, Honorable Sami Jemfi, Ebe introduce a system where all the regions, as I said, munya a standing communication committee or bureau members. Now, as usual, and the other 2 year, which is the national one, and other continuity, and Makwenya Manelko, all the regions are, or more their friend, a standing communication bureau members. Which Greater Accra is not an exception.
Okay.
It may a part of it. So long as I make Tumaba, I will Greater Accra, I cannot exempt myself from it. So since that establishment of Greater Accra Regional Communication Bureau, I have been an active member of the bureau, and I'm a active member of the National Communication team since the last National Communication Officer, Honorable Solomon Nkanse's time to date. So that is me.
Okay. Matse. Me da se pana. Yeah. Said yeah, we contest youth organizer yeah. emu nsensem bebre contest bi omuni enisuade hu bia sa obe contest bi foforo a na tiefo ebetimi atia fan because obi kra test me sisi ase aden o ye na ade obekọ bibi ana nti no metiefo ba ko se mi bisao se eye no ana se obeka team na ho ana o be push forward akoba bi foforo.
Yes, very importantly, we are sure say we are aware say as part of the NDC's activities, you know, the FL reorganization. As part of reorganization, you know, it includes election of executives at the various levels, i.e., the branches, constituency, regional, national. Now after no, the needed appointment, SSA, because we call all levels are your appointment. And for instance, local branches are elected positions, 7, and appointed position 2, summing up to 9. See, the elected and appointment in area now acquire flag bearership. As part of reorganization, we need a account. As a journalist, we are aware, I think this week, and the National Executive Committee, NEC, echo have a meeting, and I'm coming up with a timetable as part of reorganization of the party. First, and then NDC 4 be that Ben, I way, that Ben, MPP 4, I shall see party way, I shall see, but sometimes, you know, you so 50 precon Apollo say a moja na eden eba. Nti say a 2 and boas in ye de say na efata. And yes, ye be Russia ye we na within a short time, ye be say ye babe all the card and as a procedure and absolute. Nti yensan brand be ye na fufuro bium. Nti no mu release a timetable which I will go into that. Na me the answer or question. But one thing I hear also as part of reorganization, registration of members. Here are 2 different registration of members. One, here the FN replacement of membership card and a registration of new members. Currently, there are also a replacement of membership card. Intinu wa card dano. Akwenya abase obako ye the FN replacement into o particulars na ewo old membership card in this one. O de be call they come out a new one. Until I say, walk into your branch, to your branches, because share or branch chairman or branch secretary. Now, what I call a card. The card in 2 folds. Your manual card and a biometric card. Manual one, I think, is going for 2 Ghana cedis. And a biometric, which is electronic, aircore for 20 Ghana cedis. You are not forbidden from acquiring both cards into betimiawo manual. Now wasanwo biometric. As we speak, I have my electronic, which is a biometric card. And no ebeba area on the 15th of this month. This coming Sunday, I stand to be corrected. This Sunday. And a replacement of card for old members in the area. Now your whole time from 15th to 21st. Now you the registration of new members. To be frank with you, political activities and political party to say nyami ejuma. Ya de akra na ye ejuma. Nti asese mribi ni abribia no otwe akra ekọ asore. Intinu yaba beko 2024 and who be here say that sorry members na ye we NDC for no yentimi for omonko a enko akono ye we bi wo ho they have start to realize say they are disappointed in the MPP for several reasons. Ye we bi wo ho they continue to call themselves neutralists, but omabe realizes that the NDC is the best option for them. Omabe realizes that the ideologies of the NDC, transparency, accountability, and good governance, no, they buy into it. No. Dweni akwenya ye bie amawon. So munfa omuhu embe don ekuo no. sometimes it's not good to be at the fence, that you have to get yourself involved. So from 21st, Ecosi 7th of June, they did register new members as part of reorganization. Let me jump straight onto the timetable. Nameya Adoma, they register new members new year, which is on the 7th of June. On the 15th, they are starting branch election activities. A procedure and an event.
Okay.
So it will start from somewhere and end somewhere. So from on the 15th, I think to somewhere July. Now, yede branch elections. If you hold man, they are coordinatorship election, which will follow just after branch election.
Okay.
If you hold man, they are constituency election. In September, and you constituency election. After now you jumping straight to regional elections. Okay. Then we'll go, which will be in October. Now you call national, which will be in November. Going straight to your question,
okay.
Abrabo way, we need to move forward. But say, oh, ko wenimwa, yenko yenim because as I say, oh, ko wenim. But there should be a reason why I open say we move from one point and they call the other. With the experience some of us have acquired since the time Yasha say the NDC yedi communication nim na uhwe ejumaso a eda yenim towards 2024 and the pivotal thing, and the MPP said they want to break the 8. And maybe I make say enye kasa keke obi bie niwa e wo so na numu a ontafre enu ntinu. So long as they continue say omu edi Ghana foska nyafu no omu nyanka ometena so afebo then na yebe ya yebetimi di etu won efi egwane so na aban papa ye NDC aban John Dramani Mahama me ye very hopeful and optimistic say ono na yede ne ba be di NDC enim asanko 2024 no ba ba ji abenwa no edi Ghana for akoboshe asase ne so no na NDC ye hia committed people, devoted people, you hear experienced people, and I hear enkrofua omunimde. So long as the various portfolios no are concerned. Ufa portfolio bit is a communication. Gone were the days and now a cake communication. These days, communication has transcended from communication 10 years ago to the end. And the social media has become part of communication.
Etiefo enfanche wa amunim kwakuado aye nyumro no otia intino ya na ne kokko no nseda oni abotre sa inti waje ne network but obesan aba efise nwamu se obaye intino me try wa ha already invited intino me hunu mesa ede no atoso na ya to adwumadi eso Dr. Lawrence Akwaba Uncle Ben Akwaba Sita Seidu Akwaba medase se waje brena wo hwemi ena adofo bi omo hwemi a omo ni aha nyina no Nyankopon hyira obi bia ni hu Alhaji Sabato eso se na ohwe ntin miguso ame ade no na makai etiefo ese munya abotre mu amunim network no ene de enya ha o eye nkranmem kwakwa de buafu Ghana fo mama ne buafu mu kopata no ewrade asem o manasa azurva bia obi amechia vim lady enkrofo mutiminya edin titles ankese vim lady wa na osanso vim no otiminya vim ya na eja ekodru baby na eja waje brown envelope na wi a osu dwane eraba ne yentena ha ne yenje white ni bimpo yen nyina na yeti ha we all day inside you day we day ebusiafo ade no asan ye biemti no me request no na why aha enti no oba ye erade Mesa ekomia ade foforo so enna ama no abasa nti ase ade ni nyine nti yebesa so atwen ama na babiem Dr. Lawrence mimi a wode ene suntik Mr. Okate no na me fra me guest no Dr. Lawrence me pa cho hwe screen ne so na kate no Inti no me ade me guest no na wa enkomo no so inti no me pa cho o kai ba bia ye wa ato asoma yen
Really about it, Minka.
me pa cho me te on kapa
Okay, so said Yana me canon. In this day and age, social media are a part of communication. Traditional media, radio and TV, are a part of communication. These days, we need what we call strategic communication. In most schools and most tertiary institutions, they teach what we call strategic communication because these days are more of strategies than normal communication. So we know how to plan, how to strategize, how to segregate issues. So we identify stakeholders. In identifying your stakeholders, you have to get those who are active, those who are passive, so that all of them know the kind of information as or they amount. Intino, you be more yatanasi, to be frank with you. A career and as the constitution of the NDC demands. As I say, carry on who say we deal. So we deal a minute do so. Nobody will prevent you. Never follow the due process. But for now, with the timetable aban, the only leveler or ne guidelines aba a branch. Constituency has no guidelines. It's only a date and aba level don't have guideline. Only date na aba same to national. Intinu yenum do yegusu the friend consultation. Se when in penny for ekasa stakeholders ekasa and penny for kasa and even sometimes your peers, your colleagues in common. Yegusu your consultation relative to regional elections, specifically to Greater Accra Regional Communication Officer portfolio. Senameya domne se consultation ACP na yera October mu na ye the guidelines no eba na ye kinkan se we fall in the guideline. I think anyway TFO any most of the NDC people on the ticket so long as the Greater Accra Regional Communication portfolio is concerned. Now at the right time, if those things are put in place, we will officially announce our intention to it because for now the friend party reorganization and everybody is forbidden from declaring intention and doing campaign. Other than that, you'll be caught with what we call anti-party activities. So let's hold on to the brief I have given you. But God willing, we are likely to contest for Greater Accra Regional Communication Officer position. Every citizen and NDC Libya said, Akonya na base yenko register as members of the NDC. We are already a member. Go and do replacement of card. Na yenfa yentuma embo yentuma ano. Na yenye juma so very united. Na yentimi empam abua osono. Abua osono is not meant for the home. And yet domestic animal. any domestic animal. So we need not to live with them home. But just unfortunately, you know, and many do say a palm one back to where they belong to, which is the bush. We only need a united front, hard-working citizens, hard-working executives, devoted, sacrificial, and whatever credentials I want to give to them in order for us to fight against this nepotic, insensitive, wicked, and bad governance of Nana Addo Dankwa and Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia government.
Mate Ghana for Asumwa, where dear Kakuya Genepoquenu Mate Nina Adiana Sosono, Ubotomuno, a 1 year that and yet the dada. It's wow in said your canning in our Cassie Sunina. A NOKWARE Shodo na ye topic no ye friend ye be casafa ye education and young cotton craft a school feeding no cra aqua ajia guanisa be aware education system ni munina edge and colane down edo so near my baby and fuck papa intino ye da su bisase your quality education and I said no one say my papa no or no one say or ye be gum fi say your chroma say Anna 2016 the manifesto no can say or school are dying or started from the scratch a year 350 SHS schools from the scratch and then no drew him because or Mrs. A year and a crime said brand is this year money. Na yes be na wadru say o flow so atwaso miedu bi miensabi anase o boso ana ehi na wadru na ne nkola ne kroma setena atisem na ye de ba efom kra no a ye nkola yi still textbooks no any ade no menya sure say ebi obo iti no sa education no emun sensen edie na ekoso ho.
Mini aba me da wase ebiom se Ghana hodo ene yen kola ne yen panyifo in this case students en hodo ntino say ye nyamre na ye kan education wasem. Let me state on record say I have been a teacher before and not just a teacher. Me can not just a teacher. You know, most times we secondary school no much child or private school. We university no much child. There were differences in them. Me a trained teacher. So I went to the training college, specifically the Presbyterian Training College. Now, Presbyterian College of Education, the Kupong Ekwapem. Machara did for good 7 years. Into about issues of education, I talk about it passionately. One, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo Aban, so long as on promise of 350 schools are concerned, we fail the people of Ghana. My reason, NSA, under the 1992 Constitution, Yatu Abamawa, as I said, ubedi 4 years. You need the beer woman, as I say, would 8 years. But Akwenya Ewo say, Osam Bejina Bium, that is, if you want to, na ya to swaba. Into their constitution, actually, 4 years. Into Miribia party, Bia, Peso Oba, Eba, Tana Abengwane Subiana. Or did the friend manifesto eba? Into manifesto Odeban, for 4 years, and for 8 years. So this particular promise, a warm manifesto, ebia omugina simpie so ekaye nina no eye for first 4 years 2017 to 2020. So long as that promise is concerned and the duration of constitutional mandated 4 years no Nana Adodanko Akufo-Addo efeli the people of Ghana, because omuntimi NC a single of that 350 schools, and specifically now ye promise to the second cycle education, which is secondary schools and your basic. Ye promise way to counter John Dramani Mahama's 200 E-block schools. Such to tell the people of Ghana, say John Mahama a failure in building the 200 promised E-blocks there. Now one omu was what it takes to build 350. So that is the basis of the promise. But let's digest the promise. John Dramani Mahama Eshebo say obesi 200 secondary schools. Say or the best easy pressure on the introduction of free SHS, specifically progressive, which are taken directly from the 1992 Constitution. Bear in mind, the NDC yana ye befe and yana ye wo the 1992 Constitution. Inti o promise before Obefia being one so now we see, and let me quote the former Minister of Education, Napo, popularly called Napo. As a Minister for Energy, as part of transition team to move from NDC to MPP in terms of change of government. Document I handle man indicated say now you completed 446 E-blocks with about 75 in various stages of completion. Ebi wo na ya bosso di akane desk sayede ebegum. Ebi wo na laptops and computers kra wo mu dada. Ebi wo na aka Windows sayede be hihye. Inti John Mahama ambo ne humodin ensi all the 200 nimpo no. Owie mu 46. Emma emu 75 were in various stages of completion. Muma yemfantu yentimu say John Mahama boshe we o share no. I think in the year 2014, 2015, that year no share bona. From that year to 2016, Obefia being one, so now only 2 years. Until any 4 years of his tenure of office, only 2 years. Or the 2 years, AC 123, now Orie 46. And the MPP are buying at national almost first 4 years. Out of 350, me and to block and fast sokra and bofem. Into the simple analogy, say the other 2 years, AC 46 completed. Now 75 or 73 hours in various stages of completion. Now we spend 4 years. O second term was spending 2 years into almost 7 years. Until completed even a single of your promised 350. Who is competent than who? Why now born a woman a 10 in Yanko? Nini na enkamfuano. But Tayanti ana yepesi yesi school nini na MPP super so musi school nini na ne say. So that we can have quality education. Adechina adiseni no Ghana for air worry. When we worry so no ebi wo by mistake wo ebi wo so are not by mistake so wo. So the population is growing. And as the population is growing, then a year in order to meet the population growth, so long as our education or educational infrastructure is concerned. say ye improving into bakaya under late males or the dear no, I think educational infrastructure improvement program. Normally, some of these things are more interlands, no, because the population there is not compacted or more. No? They don't actually feel it. But those who felt more of those educational infrastructure improvement program, those in the cities because you run a shift, area. Today, I say you stop that shift system. No? In Accra, where I want to rely there, led by the then AMA boss, Alfred Oko Vanderpoy. SEC a lot of schools, specifically in the basic schools, so that you bet media fa nkolano dodo na accommodate one na yenko area enko anopa. To John Mahama enso bae no obetua so. SEC a lot of schools. John Mahama more than 1,200 schools under trees. Emma won befitting infrastructure for them to use. And again, both in our basic and a second cycle, I promise you 350. No infrastructure project is going on. The Ube who say air cost na a continuation of their Omoba inherited under the S.Y. John Dramani Mahama administration.
Sam.
But Obebe Bisa say, a day in a yedi, and a day in a buying here in order to build or improve on our educational sector. A yedi friend cash, sika, jete. Let's do a little comparison. Now you say, and yes, I buy ni sika or the besi suku adaino. But a deliberate attempt because any part of priority projects. Them Ghanaian students, wherever you want to stay and study, and fire. The NTI make us say under XY John Dramani Mahama administration, or ruling the country with only one oil field. As part of the improvement in the oil sector, at the Mienube County before Befia being one son, or handle over 3 oil fields, Emma this government, which is robbing in a lot of revenues, about more than 300% of what John Dramani Mahama was getting. That is one. 2, Eba Sika Bosnia Yembo in the name of citizens. John Mahama Ebo Bosnia around 70 billion. Out of 70 billion, medical cultural schools are ODCC year, test of second cycle, and a basic school no more than 1,200 from schools under trees. And a massive continuation of educational infrastructure improvement program. Or inherited from the predecessor, late males. I'll be continue or the 70 billion borrowed funds and all the year. And that by way Bosnia more than 300 billion. But they don't have anything so long as our educational infrastructure project is concerned. Sika is never a problem for this government. They are the richest government in the history of this country, or the richest government Ghana has ever witnessed. But misappropriation of funds. Yendi, let's invest in yen stomach. Intinde ubetimia ye comparison. Dr. Mahmoud Baumia ne Tommy 7 years ago. National Tommy ende. It has bloated. Intinde osha area.
Yes.
Otaki ina. Seven previous. Oh, who na ya simple because you fry kesiama a synonym. I am in Usika and Omu AD. Madika Kacho say all this thing is to improve or give our children quality education. Aside 350 schools, under John Mahama Miniaba, Obakaya or the friend laptop distribution to schools ebaye. Those times na me chradie. Chidi oye ne say before laptops ne be ban or the almost all teachers, and I want to be specific, anybody can argue with me and I'm ready to argue the person back. Almost every teacher, almost echo a workshop, ICT workshop to improve on our technology. So the laptop ne ba you bet me the head actually they need to use you. Yenyanum MPP for Esopa John Mahama. For several reasons, I don't want to go there. And as laptops, I'm chairman schools. And then MPP abase, Adi omokasati ase na John Mahama na enyeno. They have come to do worse of what John Dramani Mahama did. And let me tell you why. Omonso somu distributing laptops. One, who compare John Dramani Mahama laptop or started with a laptop labeled RLG, which was assembled in Ghana. Oriye later no distributing Toshiba, no distributing HP, no distributing modern brand of laptop, which na me chere ICT in my school. Me could receive some of the ICT for and on behalf of my school for several reasons. You know, me mbo school needing, but a government school. And the bisa say, what is the quality of laptop I want a teacher for? That is one. Two, what is the amount of laptop you teacher for the airto laptop? No? John Mahama any free you, and the more tongue a teacher for. That is two. Three. This government yabaya niti if you want to solve the problem of ICT in our schools, you don't distribute laptops to teachers. And let me tell you why. Teacher ni be a newer or tenor school permanently. Udum pempensu bi a transfer. You can choose to leave the field. Oko retirement. Intinesa all the laptop ni ma teacher niya. Say you transfer if you one school, echo the other school or the laptop no echo. So the school will lack that laptop. That is one. So or decide say obe jai teaching. Na ba ko page ma fofra. Or the laptop no be day or the beko. So occur retirement in so or the laptop no be day or beko. So it will get to a time you ubeko schools binu they will not have laptops because teacher phone the laptop na day ako. So how do you solve this particular menace that you sought to solve? Two, almost every year, biano teacher trainees, FE training colleges, eba. Tibisa say, since our class water back on subsequent years, or machana into new teachers now, ya channel out from the training colleges, are posted one. They don't have laptops, and as they don't have laptops, laptops belongs to the teachers. Into or better without a laptop because and the continuity is not there. So the new teachers don't have the laptop. Are you getting me? But let me tell you, Advinini Nyansa, Ewo John Dramani Mahama Tima, Opesa or the solving problem at Utimiko schools, Bina Kolebi Owa, even computer cra or who bida, mouse cra or who bida. Tidioye Yen say, or chair laptops no Emma schools no. So it became the bona fide properties of the schools. Unti say ya transfer wa untimi mfanko. Ujai teaching na untimi mfanko. Uko retirement untimi enyede mfanko. So long as a ugusu extra there in the name of the government, we need your knowledge and your intellectual property Said ya ubetimi use laptop no e da kire student na de enti no ya do be call workshop. Then you come and make good use of the laptops ayediama a teacher for. Yediama schools, no sorry. Are you getting me? Intine uko schools
Yes,
bia 5 or 7 years after I stopped teaching, John Dramani Mahama laptops, egusu wa newly trained teachers are using. Weni penny and a man penny order eso die edwin Ghana for. So both interim or the future, so long as the policy of the government for distribution of laptops to teachers are concerned, it's not in to solve any problem. And another point. Let's continue with education. Abanwe is very deceptive, and it's a high term expose one. Under John Dramani Mahama, oftenly now you what the friend teacher pupil ratio. Inti uko yen schools are nationally, as I said, teacher ni biya uchren kola there omo class between 25 pupils to about 30 or 35. Said ya ubetimi apply methodology na ye chire wo school no. Inti en wase nkola ne dos wo class. Inti that as Ghana na yen pupil teacher ratio no na a very high. Inti beko school bi wo mpo a na teacher ni ba ko chire nkola 100 ade. And I'm actually say mostly you can't be say those in the interlands no, they don't feel it because population there is less. But the cosmopolitan areas no, population is high. Into the class be 100 ewo. Na teacher ni ba ko say o chira de. Ebu a umma worker na mu the book ni be two table so a. The book can even cover your vision to the extent say you will not even see the next teacher in the common room. Inti necessary ya bridge the gap into the dia friend say a teacher for you expand intake in our training colleges inti under NDC yema all training college accreditation to be tertiary institutions so that they can start awarding degree to students. 2 say ye betimi afa a teacher for bebre no ye introduce the friend allowances to teachers or teacher trainees some decades ago, and go and listen to the history. The reason why a training allowances by NSA, those time most people don't like going to training colleges. Until now, some incentives I encourage you or no more into training colleges. But years on, and football just to be admitted in training colleges. So the reason for introducing allowances has been obsolete. In other words, the reason has expired, which the same reason deprive us from admitting more teachers, training more teachers, so they make him bridge the gap between pupils and teacher ratio. Into a cafe media in Ghana for because Mama status as tertiary institution. Per laws, tertiary institution students are not allowed to take allowances, but they are allowed to take student loan. Into me in Jamukwa, me move from the allowance scheme to the student loan scheme. And second, because the loan scheme is sanitino, may increase said ya at least ever enough to be able to pay your fees. Now bet media taught textbooks, now bet media etucha. Yeah. That particular year, 2015-2016 academic year, you move intake or enrollment of students in the training colleges from 9,000 to 16,000. Go and check. The MX data shows that we moved admission of students in the training colleges from 9,000 to 16,000. Until now, within a short time, you bet me training a lot of teachers to come and teach our children. NMPP are buying because of desperation. Like I said, it was a bad approach. Jomoba Ombe introduce you, they will reintroduce the allowance scheme. And where is the allowance scheme? Over 6 months now, the allowance to be paid to training colleges has not been paid. Nti akwaya no 419. Yaka yenya tumi ewie ende yebeye dia yepe. Enun kemfu ano under John Mahama na uwie training college ya wode yefa no automatic posting. Training colleges na ye 3 years. Ye in out. The out you go and do what we call mentorship. Just after mentorship, now you post you into your various station. Automatic employment. You need not to write application letter. Into as I say, omunchi allowance and now we training college. MPP are buying extra automatic employment. Aside no, almost introduce you national service scheme. Into wakoye mentorship area no. Now what's national service now 4 years. We are wasam betna fee. Afa pen, I'm a wasampo waha. Afa paper, actual application. It is all because one person on the phone a into your application now, then they have a tactics to tell you, say, you are not qualified to be employed. 2, aside application, and I was introducing the friend teacher licensure exams. The friend be elimination by because you ever forward you 1 to application. 2 to application we are. Now was control teacher licensure exams. Bear in mind, say they mark the papers. So they can decide to tell you, say, we're failing, a lot of training college trainees, every school, extra application, control licensure exams. At the end, results in the buyer see, we're failing, and any John Mahama DNanka, all students, you are now a fully fledged tertiary institution. Now we are with Juma Edaho and Mao, Uncle Brenko Prejumano, and in ne ateti ayedu komunu, diahi and ankeye. But yes, achia embuye. Yabekoswa can sempana chireye nyanum a tertiary institutions. No mwe who say. Dia nan ka Yesu se yepese ye na ye yama won na ye nipa pemu na ye ni ye mu tina na ye nanso anwea IMPP aban etugu ye ngari mu ne promise heaven and earth entinu na ese ye so won hwe se de omo kan ye but eso hwe we die yankasa na ye so hwe ye nso ye nu ye ho ese ye san ye chi. Yes, sankofa yenchi. Yes, yechi. Yes, sankofa. Yes, the devil you know is better than the angel you don't know. At least we know John Dramani Mahama. And in Yema Wayamaye. Yen sanko yechi. Mamin for the last portion sonko. And yet you more dinner ban with edible teacher for. Aside someone introduce you teacher licensure exams, Ediama newly trained teachers or mobile. Almost send their core already existing teachers swa and John Mama which are 4 years from training college with the diploma bar you do to a scale called I don't know superintendent 1 if you are not superintendent 2 we are not principal superintendent in a matter of years, they said you do super automatic promotion. You only have to show funds. And then say you deal say call for promotion. Who control licensure exams. Who teach you now who teach me cheaper. The reason is that a binding person obe promote you. Not do what to the right scale. Now I enjoy promotional allowances or increment on your salary. Intine uchuria ubewuna half of them. You see a failure one. Now ujina baby a ujina na. Intine ubeti machara de 10 years. Who control licensure exams next one pass here. Ujina was your salary will not go up and you will never be promoted. Intine a day and aba. Makdika ka say enye sika no mu new. Sika no mu new. Nanso no yemfra o nanado. Yemfra o oforiata. Yemfra o gabi. Ena umfi achime busuem. Entinu. Udia unya Ghana skani bi nyeden endi. Ye promote you na unye didi. Nti ye promote you. Eno ne mpempen so a ene me ne wo ye do so long as your educational sector is concerned. On the last point on education, the worst and the most disappointing aspect is that before John Dramani Mahama, any late meals Babaji Abengwane fee former President Kufuor and Semono. Na young EMS, English, Maths, and Science textbooks. Now you were one textbook to about 3 or 4 pupils. In Tinauko school, you be reading na your mouth textbook to say ya. They are catching out Yanko say on train the decks, embra close to you. Me sure say okay. Na mo ye round table na book baako edam mfimfin na mo kan ebi wa baako kan kakra wi na teacher ni say the next paragraph kofi usutua so wo honom. This was the situation Emra John Dramani Mahama any late most Ebeji Abengwane as part of improvement program yetimi improve the textbook to pupil ratio from 1:3 to 1:1. Until before I be Abengwane in 2016, now we go school biya. Now kolaba biya afa ban textbook. Say your maths, English, and as a science onu kwa wone de no de ahye na motuem. Until now we go school fa kwa ote fi anopa no ehwa na ote ontwe o dex mbebe obi because say you reading na and one is the teacher beka say be page 24 na we be wa book na wakan ye wia na class prophet and I say blackboard chobox leader meaning say these days amutimi wo chobox leader make in time na wo no agigi books no de akoto or de akoshe shelves so adechi ana ya saying ejusu ene amino okay. That was the situation so long as textbooks are concerned. You handing over Nana Adodanko Akufo-Addo and Dr. Alhaj Mahmoud Bawumia, leader of the economic management team. This was the situation. And now in school, sir, Umusa Kolebia kita textbook. Senyane maame na ato amana. Na ne uncle na ato amana. Ana obi open asem na ato amana. All the books no because of air perishable and as a deteriorating into a deteriorating. Instead of say buying be replacing the books to maintain the 1:1. Abani say or the air friend change of the syllabus eba. Ntombe tisa syllabus omo ebe to ye. But that change of the syllabus is to rewrite the history of this country. Min koho and we are subject for another day. And now I mean, for good 3 academic years, and I'm referring to academic years. Nana Adodanko Akufo-Addo aban, and na bedi chire Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and they are the head of the economic management team. me and distribute textbooks, not even a single one, to the basic schools here. To be say, how are we improving on teaching and learning? How can teachers learn or teach they say your own research now they are charity. Teacher no own man research allowance. Into the online scanning the data. Today data in Ghana is very expensive. Or the quarter data not their research. Not their charity. So no nkasa sa sika kuma na ode man as salary no. No their call a drum akoto textbook. Because or a good citizen, he doesn't want to be a spectator. No, they are better than Kola Adie. And no name Pempenswa and ne yetu. Aketuemwa untum. Textbook swa provide. The last time the teacher for an say Ghana Jumaye for enya aketuemu under MPP percent. This year 7%. Okani 2 ebomwa 11% for 2 years. Nebisa won say ono ene na pam for article 71 holders ahina odema won about 70% increment. That time na na nkenye Ghana for osi otua lodina sorry otua Rebecca Kufuado ene Samira Baomiyaka because you can't busu until yenchemen so first lady and a second lady so. Nso Ghana ejuma for muya ejuma edisika eba Ghana futuwe mudie. Na wakoto market 4 and 7%. Intimini aba so long as the educational sector is concerned, MPP Abai has failed us. Mempese meko into free education because as for no dear, it is only breeding quantity, not quality. For the first time in Ghana's history, Akwala school, Ochro BEC no nya 40 kra, Yemani school maneko. Onya 46 onya school eko. Sanka ya 100 aggregate 100 impo onya 100 Yabamani school. You can't term this as quality. The only word that you can use to describe this is a quantity. Just because Abaino a continuation of John Dramani Mahama's progressively free education. Because John Mahama is here with today's students. And also buy no form once. A buy in their first term. Second term no form 2's account. Third term no 3rd year's account. Or describing it is equally progressively free education. So that is where we are, but I think said you a teacher for a dear situation training college trainees a dear situation where students have also learned a lesson. We were GD Mapase. We wouldn't repeat the mistake we repeated in 2016. Come 2024, you bear the needful. And the Ghana for ye need and there enye and tro and there abe from fidienti and tro mucha ye nina ne promises nina no obo ewo abe fontin tan so a ube huni nina na we hu di omo kan ye ene di omo timi aye na ye ko 2024 me wo gidi say ene ye compare MPP 7 years with John Dramani Mahama's 4 years 6 months. We never saw him say John Mahama only 4 years 6 months. But ene ye compare 4 years 6 months with Obi Awedi 7 years. And umponu John Mahama's achievement of 4 years 6 months. Very, very, extremely better than what we are experiencing under the incompetent, inept, deceitful Nana Ado Dankwa and Dr. Alhaj Mahmoud Baumia led government.
Agama Lizard. Minya be ma me da se na ansa na meto aso no na ye be kwa next topic no. Mr. NIE former Deputy Chief of Staff, Mr. Johnny Oseifusi, Mr. Idrisu, Mr. Medio, and Mr. Moro Mohammed, Omoye Kades, senior Kades, and Rye in Shemudiebi, Mefa Akanya we so at Shia Omo, Adia Omoyema, Yene Yemianoma, young Kades. Intino meda almost the papa intino say after increasing transportation fares by 15% in February, drivers have started charging an additional 20%. How are Ghanaians coping? In fact, me sa new me yamu shame intino. Yeah, bring strength, over salmon up in 10 minutes. Me
very simple amount.
May I must see me pa men
see me about your economy a reality and I said ya Ghana for a fele efa. Ghana for a year or be asked of a catcher and say ye bre and I say yemre. MPP are buying in all the sectors. Those times in opposition, which means the videos are on social media. Now the Danko Akufa do Kujina simply so Emma Gallon so say Oba the rate at which a fool air cosron Obemana abafem. Or see, as a result of the insensitiveness of John Dramani Mahama Bainti and a fool Ekosro. Inti Obeba the year in the year Amaye. Under John Dramani Mahama in 2016, now cost some of the pumps are no more tongue a gallon of fuel for 16 cedi, a bit on 18 cedis. It never got to 20 cedi before NDC a fee at the English. And there, Pennsylvania, ye do. And there, ye to fuel a gallon more than or close to 40 Ghana cedis. Just within last year, in 6 months, ye to fangumu about 10 Ghana cedis. So the promise say, obey better than John Mahama and the Ghana Fonsa Nina Esifem. He is the worst government when it comes to seeing to the hike in fuel prices. Said they are obetimi alleviating the people from their suffering. Fuel, let's bear in mind, say a commodity be as a cost affecting everybody, even including school fees. And I will tell you why. Because when we are running private schools, say fuel price affecting transport in terms of fuel on better buses mudiafa and collapse from their homes to the schools. They need to increase the fees so that it can cater for the fees, the fuel. So the fuel price no cost to affect food and as goods and services. Omuko market to go and buy food. No matter near under school feeding. Ntomu need any option to increase the fees or increase the school feeding. I hope you are getting me. Inti eno na ama enne minyaba. Ubeti miada. Umra bada dano. Se ukoto book way enne teachers note 5 ukoto book way 2 Ghana cedis are. Adebetino Osameko the same shop no na see it on 4 Ghana cedis. An increment of 100%. Mekai Kane under John Mahama. Now you top 5 kilo of rice. You know we have several brands. Maybe a 13 cedis, maybe a 15 cedis. It be 18, it be 17.
15.
And then the same 5 kilo of rice. It be 35 cedis. It be quite 40 cedis. An increment of more than 100%.
Yeah, for cry 42 cedis so Kumasia.
That is it. That is the real economy. Into me, oh, you Ghanaian. And yes, MPP Becca will say, and Yamako ye. Make I before Kufo, the boss, she was sitting in Netuaba. Yansha, you sitting in Netuaba. Under John Mahama. Namikaipa, ideal mock. Sorry to mention, me, I don't sort to do campaign for any brand. Ideal mock. Now you turn 2 CD 50 pesos. Sometimes baby can na 2 CD 70 pesos. And the ideal mock. If you try to come 5 Ghana cedis. 5 Ghana cedis.
7 CD 50 pesos.
Oh yeah, Munfanche, me say me bema one shana, me say down come market. Why you bad here? Who in price the same? That is the reality. Okay.
Yeah, 2 and 75.
50 pesos. That is it. And any reality, no, can I not go in toast? Ya buane miensa 1 Ghana cedi and amount under John Mahama. With all the MPP touting of planting and the tomatoes, kuma, they are 1 Ghana cedi under John Mahama. And the sun kuma miensano, you turn 5 Ghana cedis. That's the reality now. And on the economy, because of the increment of fuel prices, because the farmers, as I saw Moody in Nubayani fee a fuel at the back room. It is a transportation ecosra or the becker nigus now at the back room. And the okra near my bar. Transportation for conveying the things from one point to the other. Ebuakosro. One so amuya retailing. And so some transport a few of shops. Ediko Makola Ekoto near Madeba. Transportation akosro. It is first now go be fee. In Krayana of Kumasi a bank and beton near man. Not transportation from Kumasi to Accra. A 21 to 25 Ghana cedi and John Mahama. And net a 50 Ghana cedis. Indeed, the person do not have any option. Sir, or this are increments ebe kanini yema na meno akakoto. But aside fuel price, a reason for the increment of goods and services. No, adie baako aban ne fairly ensunti ama niema boa ye dia. Economy ni aye din no, the exchange rate. And no na medwin ho a menti ase no. And then no na the maximum failure of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Because
sugar
he became
5 cedis. Sugar, the
cheapest commodity. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ebeye public speaker in 2016 on the universities and propounded theories to run Ghanaian economy. Banani refi say, anya dibia na ekosua wo book mu a o apply in reality a eye adwuma. Timi bia me ka say Ghana yen economy no are quite different from some economies of the Europe. Ko Europe, the culture say inflation ba fema. Yes, in reality no uko marketer. Ube say prices of goods and services so ba fema. But in Ghana, the case inflation ba fema. The more ba fema no, the more the prices of goods and services cost. It is who use Adam Smith theories, economic theories to run the Ghanaian economy. You fail, and that is why Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is a failure in the Fourth Republic or the history of this country. So long as all his predecessors, as head of economic management teams of the Republic of Ghana, is concerned. Let me quote him to indicate why he has failed. Or see, some person who determine the strength of every economy. Look at the exchange rate. Into your say, when the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. So let's do a little comparison of the exchange rate under John Mahama and the exchange rate under this particular government. As at the time, I now propounded all this theory. Now kita $1. What they get 3 CD 90 Ghana cedis, 90 pesos of Ghanaian currency. But even if you are being one so now kita $1. Now we get 4 CD 20 pesos of the Ghanaian currency. And then we kita the same $1. What's the Ghana CD? I think more than 8 CD or close to 8 CD. And then the exchange rate has broken the 8. Fuel price has broken the 8. That is it. With your own assessment, with your own judgment of how I bet media determine a strong economy, your own theory, how Papa only say when the economy is good, is bad, and when you make propaganda with the economy, the exchange rate will expose you. Today, the same reality has come after him. And comparing his economy to that of John Dramani Mahama, John Dramani Mahama, even as the head of the economic management team, then under late Mills, did far, exceedingly, extremely better than what Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, as a doctor in economic or economics. Bear in mind, John Dramani Mahama is only a communication expert. And let's look at inflation. And the inflation is around 23.something%. Where are we going as a country? Where are we going as a country? And the borrowing has gone past the root. We'll say it is a lazy man approach. Say Oba rely so much on borrowing, Bosiabo, say the baby woman. Into Mudi Omoba. Ombe move the country from taxation to production. And they have borrowed more than any other government in the history of this country. Oka Nkrumah, Oka Buzia, Oka Echampon, Oka late Rollins, Oka former President Kufuor, Oka late Mills, now Oka John Mahama. It was around 123 billion. NPP are buying one led by Nana Danko Akufo-Addo, e borrow more than 300 billion. But no on see school ye, or no on see hospital ye, or no acquire all ye in inferior roads on building exchange, interchange, sorry, on building interchange. Now can interchange, no more Musa pointed Temale. They should go and read the difference between interchange and an overpass. Temale is an overpass. It's not an interchange. Yes. You see, aside me being a train teacher, yes, I am also an engineer. I completed KNUST with a bachelor's degree in quantity surveying, economic management, quantity surveying and economics. I completed in the year 2014. So I know the difference between an interchange and an overpass. Interchange baku any their John Mahama Maya was set on. Interchange any temali, tema. Interchange any pokuasi. Inti temale di any day a overpass. I think they say they know how to read, but they should bear in mind say there is one thing reading and another thing understanding what they read. Yes, I will grant them with the fact that they read, but what I will tell you is MPP read, but they don't understand what they read. So meaning about
what they read about, yes.
And only the economy we find ourselves. You know, Ghana economy, the attitude pansan. I need and you need nobody to tell you. Already under John Mahama, when the economic figures no can better no. I'm catch and say real economic figures. This time, both the economic figures and the reality on the grounds, Ninano deteriorate. This is the worst government Ghana has ever experienced. And sometimes it pains me. And I'll reiterate, say, che enebe che nanso enka hoda. Achia embuye. Meaning say Ghana for Yaswan Aswa enka. Yaswa John Dramani Mahama. Aswa Nana Danko Akufo-Addo. Yes, meaning say enyo no be what take it neso come 2024. But there is no difference between Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Neither there is any difference between Nana Addo and even Alan Cash, because Alan Cash is a part of Nana Addo cabinet. Okay, the cabinet. Bawumia is the vice president. Whatever Nana Addo is doing, you know, Omunina etnasi a dream because we had the 1992 constitution, who cabinet one, who rule the nation with the government. Into a money na failure. Into maybe I'm a catch either a Baumio and as a Alan Cashew. As for 2024, the NDC we are taking over power. What we need, the amino who ye here as a party, which Medibe and then say we need to be united. As I say, you go beyond a monocracy in determining our next leadership on the branch, constituency, region, and national. We must make sure, say, we throw our differences away. We must make sure, say, our personal interests don't override the interests of the party. We must make sure, say, we should be there for each other and make sure, say, you better each other's back. Now you make sure say you to all the executive elections area who renew when renew for the purposes of the interest of the party and 2024 election. Let's throw all of those things to the past. Come together united. Because if we are not united, it will be very difficult. But I am very optimistic that the NDC, as united as we are, we will continue to be united in 2024. Whether they connive with the Electoral Commission or not, the NDC, we will stand to defend the sovereign will of the people of Ghana as stipulated and stated black and white by the letter of the Constitution to protect their interests and make sure that whoever they vote for will be declared the winner, and I know John Dramani Mahama will be declared the winner. It shall allow. Maminchi all the people of the Greater Accra region, especially all the people in the 34 constituencies, all current executives in all the constituencies. Me bompai say, mo unveil for elections. The people should look at your works, not money, and maintain or retain you people, so that some of us will avail ourselves also without money. But the competence that we have to be able to fight this animal party called MPP, we'll be able to come and run the affairs of the region so long as communication is concerned. And make sure we will increase our parliamentary seats from where we are now and increase our vote from where we had in 2020 to an appreciable vote. Now, Greater Accra and yet the densely populated so long as the voter register is concerned. So ejuma kesepa eda yenenim. Yebeye, ya ready say yebeye. As youthful as I am, o frame yanopo, ewio, enyumro, the sumu, NDC hodo, ene Ghana hodonti. Se omode achinien mame as regional communication officer, I will do it and do it well. Thank you very much.
Medase Pamira Godwin Mahama say me frewo na wojebre na obekayensa medase pa na asa na minya wo ma wo nkosa na oberapo apama me wo after increasing there have been numerous complaints with the newly introduced e-levy. Can the revenue expectation of government be achieved?
Maminya is so quick. Memfa wakunya we so. And that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama said. Any adwenepane nyansa we nyama the people of Ghana. Odwene Ghana for ho nti mebia ne niema oye nyina ye niema ebeboa Ghana for omasetene mu. Nti watu na nutuo say on the oba this e-levy abasa babebu Ghana for kum on twentwen so oba repeal the act na Ghana for ni na ye jai this e-levy etia one positive thing that John Dramani Mahama at the atoll. We need to applaud him for that because this e-levy goes against the tenant of taxation. Maybe the next time so I see a case about tenants of taxation at Ebeko. That's the first thing. Two, E-levy way you see
next time you better
yes you 50 preko policy a moja ena eba obi eni wo de etuo ni ejan esi aban ne so say omofa koti kwan so e de pass the bill and the act no echina na echina ya let's activate it or the president should assent to it na enter say a year juma ba adwene po edo ana adwene boni eda omutim ni say the person e kan wa na ye gigi Ghana fuska because 2024 the year ko nti say ye gine ntema ye benya bebre na ye tini edi ansa na yakọ nti oma prepare omo ho na oma implementing even at a time where now some citizens call for some interpretation at the Supreme Court or to the judiciary for some constitutional interpretation kwampono omo amfa nya adwuma nti enyama ya so mudi gu akwan mu na se o transfer system no betimi asynchronize ehu se number where or they transfer from sim A to sim B no mea GODWIN MAHAMA sim nti no mentil no they were not able to do that until there after implementation no obi ti me transfer fi ono ani phone so A ono ani phone so B na yate no there are some instances o transfer amount so mo te okrampo no they will under deduct you. There are some if they don't under deduct you, they will over deduct you. You may be also they will not under deduct you, neither will they also over deduct you, but among and deduct you. So system no enye. To make it short, the only thing I'm catching about anything, they should sit and reflect over Niema omo eyen. Already system ni mu ayedin omo ahye yembo se enye to no mudi bebu Ghana man but enne omo adani omochi a kire Ghana fo na today they are not moving the country from taxation reduction but they continue to move the country from taxation to taxation to taxation and to taxation. So if that's what they still want to continue, we beg them. They said they have the men. They should bring their intelligence to bear. No more implementing ye na among Ghana for enko and. But I'll call on the government. Say here. They should stop the process. They should put a halt to the process. Now among go back to the round table. Now fidie SSO back together. Synchronization. Technology as bring it on board. No multimedia build this system no. Na ye robust and efficient no. Enye. No muria. They can implement or continue or start to implement it again. Obia enchesi one. Obia amfa tu ni ejan ento omokonye. They should do the already Ghana for yebre. Kenya for mabe transfer sika. Now wasan aba betene more than his case or teme. And already Mr. Kama me mame. Mr. Kama me mame. That is it intine. Mr. Kama me mame. Ewa manonia ana me mame ewe krasi bia and then also beteme. Minu abema or secondary school or tertiary institution or piska kakra edi atone ho o sene 150 yes ye beto. Aden o man be mu. Afedi sike kraban ne disika ma de woni manfo botom nso de eho na yedu enne silver no mini aba eti say you omo beto ye na say na John Mahama esi ase pepepe si nti na omo stabilization fund na John Mahama was stabilization fund na John Mahama eja won oil field na John Mahama eja won infrastructure development at the health sector at the communication sector, at the road sector, and upon the number 2 years now, and on 2 years, silver nasi, and a silver nasi, I am. Sorry, until silver nasi, I say, Have you seen how empty it is?
Aye.
Nti nese manasi I say. Nti sia wo di bibi egum a na enwiri. Wo di bibi egum a na enwiri. Ni nwiri ni na eti no enwiri akọ omubotom.
Kweku amanse.
Enya se enwiri aba me no ho. Enwiri akọ omubotom. Nti ne akoye kokofu bobo. Ye dija Ghana for because ye mfra onanado. Ye mfra obaomia. Ye mfra okoriata. Unye chebini ena wonka nanado ebusuafo ho ntino. Ene or say damn your consequences. Damn your suffering. Damn the hardship. Yenya kasi ye be wiam. Ansa na yakode. Ye be wiam. Eno na ekoso. Nti mini oba that will be the short form and the short I make about this E-level thing.
Mate medase na dwumadie yi ye de aba awie na ansa na ye be sori so no me maame Cecilia laje pabita wanya ne ba bia ko na wotwemienu pepepe se kyena na ye na yi ewo agomenya a ewo Eastern region ho na we keeping the 27th ana ebeye abrochi agomenya ana barrier service no Saturday 28th no Presbyterian Cemetery and also after barrier gathering no at Old McCall Sec campus Odumase Krobo ana Thanksgiving service no so Sunday 29th no eso ye Zimaima Presby Church Odumase Krobo na Bema odi kuna ye friend Christopher Tei Pabiti Nema Richard Amote Pabiti Jonathan Tei Pabiti Benjamin Tei Pabiti Joseph na Pabiti Elizabeth na Tei Pabiti Anna Rosina Pabiti Anna ne nananom ye 17 na omu jina John 11:25 to 26 eso de arefo de ase amanfo enyina se mrenu duru a omomeye omomwa na chief mourners Tetei Jale ana Joseph Zo ana Daniel Kwesi Jobio ana Eunice Kumasi Yo Kwashi ana Dio Ochato Joseph Tatei Tei intino medaminia be mas se ene metun safre no a watimi aba beka yensa yeda na se ewo se onya abre ebeka ye ho no mesa da tiefuo nyina se obia eso eje bre na odi tie miminim sadodo na ya na mohwe no akire intino ya munkomwa na afa ya mun follow Waslina TV anase no kware no nie eso ewo YouTube eso na followers ne no so kra mo ye agumani mase nti mu follow YouTube we no so emma me fa nko ba bia de mi ane se mo be follow kakra na yeso yakoye ne mu bi nti no meda ahwefo ase na odonfo dom ye a ye woda se ne nti mi nua ba ma se obechia adofo a akwanya woko se obechia adofo na ye de agu.
Oh, many of us said the medical chair migrator Accra for no. Mean the other 15 regions, so long as NDC members are concerned. Make sure money na. Na catch one say, ejuma so eda yeni mesi ye. Yeni na yenka your home boom. Meaning say ye the ebetimi aye, but at least you can't continue to be doing the same thing the same time. Ye ko yeni no. Ye improve on what we did in 2020. So that we can get new results. Because what we did in 2020, so long as the electoral commission is concerned, anything and my green, say more than what we did. But many bad. I mean, for a Konya way soon country, a phone na say election idea, Namia do my beba. Aside say competence and everything. When say you call in the full of why you call out and things. So as part of it, so they really do not say you ba omonasia, more than you which my young, because at least you could be you benum kakra. When what I'm trying to say is when the need arises and we need to come for sponsorship from them in order to aid us, so long as the election is concerned. Nini na for the interest of the party and for the interest of the citizens of the Republic of Ghana. Ye do honum na ye ba. Momon da no mo chi maye. E be ba mo na ase no aba bedi and come on. Na ye de entoma, omo de omo ntama abo ye ntama no. Kakra bia o mema ye bia no ye be som. Ye say little drops of water makes a mighty ocean. Long live the NDC, long live Ghana, and long live every NDC member. Go get your card now. 2024 is possible. Thank you.
Medase. Netiefo, medase medika ka cha mo say NDC aye akono ma ye sham. Ema menya card, but me de na biometric nti mai. Na ebedura mesa tena efie he ya. Na me de akire adofo. Na menya hunu say yetimeje ye kan say manual any biometric die. Ene mi dru mi tru mi ka ai emu odin na makwa akọje medie a eye manual no na medi eye ready a medi aba betrem no mahunu say aha no kura no nie ana ka Dr. Lawrence nyame nhyiraw ene obi bia nana hema hu ofe medase nyame nhyiraw michia obi bia takwafo nyame nhyiraw obi bia mama ba ye wada sene odomfo ne dom ya nyankopon eya adom aye behia ne mahama nhyira na ebi nhyira ye nyina ne nyame na otwetwa ankrofo ka no onchia ye nyina ya tanfo ka maye amen.
Amen.